I've never been like a church person. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a house with a strong, praying, tambourine bumping grandmama. You know what I'm saying? My auntie, strong, very, very strong in prayer. So I know how to pray and I know the word. You know what I'm saying? I know God is real and I've seen the presence in the hand that he's had in my life personally. No, nobody ain't got to tell me that. I just ain't never felt the connection with church.
Why?
Man, I just don't know. It just ain't. To be honest with you, I don't think it's real. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's a business just like anything else, and it's a show just like anything else. You know what I mean? Just like you go to Broadway, you see a show. I feel like it's just like somebody standing up and public speaking, just like you get like a TED talk. And a lot of times they be putting a lot of cap on it. And when I say cap, I'm saying cap in their action. The word is the word, but sometimes they try and twist the word, make the word mean something, you know, that will be personally benefiting to them, and not necessarily what the word mean, you know, as its purpose. And that to me, because if you think about it, only times when you read the word, anybody know the word, and you study the life of Jesus Christ, the only time you really saw Jesus Christ lose his temper was in the church. He went to the church to see what was going on in the church, seeing how the church people were handling the word of God and what they were doing to manipulate it, to personally benefit, you know, from the word of God. That's when Jesus got mad, flipping table.
Oh, that's when he flipped the table.
Yeah, flipping table. You know what I'm saying? We had Jesus out here like he don't love hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But that's why. Cause I connect with the word, like the true word, the spirit. I don't need no broker. I don't need no middleman. I don't need nobody to get my word. You know, I done heard a preacher, I've been to church before, and the preacher say, come on, y'all, put it to the collection plate, dig deeper, get your prayers past the ceiling. I say, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all telling me I got to pay this joker, you know what I'm saying, for my God to hear my prayer? Man, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
that's unfortunate. Like that. Those moments are unfortunate.
I mean, they are, and I don't put that on the entire, because I think for the most part, there are people who are strong, church-going, God-fearing people that go to church with the intention of serving and praising God. However, you know, I think there's some leadership, there's enough people in enough positions that understand that there is ways to manipulate this word to personally benefit.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Call Holayim La, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat, Quadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners, and shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. And that's a pure-cut example of these so-called role models, leaders in our community, in this society, this captivity, man, because they have made an alliance, a covenant, an agreement with the devil to keep our people, what's the word I'm looking for? Salakia, to keep our people asleep and also obedient. Okay, asleep, obedient, and submissive slaves, man. Okay, and with them doing so, and also indoctrinating our people with the philosophies of that universal doctrine, you know, love your master, love thy neighbor, etc., which, you know, is literally misusing and misinterpreting and breaking down the scriptures wrong to Jake. But also too, which is very clear, you can do your own research. When you receive a 501c3, it's through the government, and it's also guidelines and standards that you have to abide by, and you have to only teach their curriculum, and you only can do certain things. Your message can only be directed a certain way, and you also have to do certain things to show forth that privilege, which is to be tax exempt. You have to show forth that you're actually doing something, not with all the percentage of the income, but a certain portion, a certain percentage. You have to show forth that you're doing something beneficial for the community. Okay, why do you think you see some jakes doing back to school drives and all types of other things, just to name one? Okay, but these people in these churches, and not only the people in the churches, but also the people that these celebrities, these actors, these musicians, etc., that they look up to, they also are part of that agenda. And it's also a false representation of hope. If you do what T.I. did, or if you do what Michael Jordan did, or if you do what Magic Johnson did, or if you do what Kurt Franklin did, you can have some type of status and stance in this society, man. Okay? Because, everything is ordained and done by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, but also too, the devil can bless you like he tried to tempt and have Yahweh Shah bow down to him. Okay, so the devil can also give you blessings in this world, because this world is ruled by the devil, the spiritual demon Satan, and the ones that are his counterparts, his representatives, are the Edomites, the so-called proclaimed white people. Okay, but you cannot serve the Lord and serve mammon, which is money. Okay, because as we know and as we see, that's the main thing that a lot of Israelites talk about, especially these pastors, these fake, these true representatives of the Christian church, which is white supremacy, because this world teaches you to have a covetous spirit, to be greedy of gain, and amongst everything. But let's grab this. This is St. Matthew chapter 5, and I'm going to read verse 20. Where is that? Verse. Let me see here. Got them wrong. Bear with me 1 second. Is that 14? Is that 25? Bear with me. Salakia. Okay, Salakia. St. Matthew 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other. And again, their love is for the love of the FRNs, the Federal Reserve Notes, that have a certain type of tax bracket. Okay, to deceive, which is really those that the Lord ordained and wants to be deceived. Those that really cleave on to the customs, the philosophies, the teachings of this captivity, man. Because again, to be involved in the Christian church, aka the 501c3, which is really, again, Edomite supremacy, but just to make it clear to the newcomers, white supremacy. Okay, because they tell you that the Lord, the Father, the angels, the chosen people, which are the Israelites, that they all look like them, which is complete blasphemy and complete lies. And T.I. hit something on the nail when he said, when the pastors and the deacons in these churches, okay, these harlot houses, because a lot of wicked shit goes on in these harlot houses, man. Trust me, I come from a family. A lot of us come from families that deal in the church, man. A lot. I've done a lesson prior, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I had a uncle that had his own church, and he got rich, and the Lord took him out, man. In a horrible way. I did a lesson on that. Okay. But he made a valid point, so like if it being long-winded, but he made a valid point that basically they telling you keep on putting the collection plate, put more and more, and the Lord will hear your prayers. You put more in that collection plate, and you tell me what it is, and I'll be the mediator between you and the Lord. When in actual reality, we do have a mediator, because we can't go directly to Yahweh ourselves. The Lord hears our prayers, okay, our sighing, our crying, through Yahweh Shai, because we're filthy. Okay, Yahweh Shai is our lawyer, our mediator. Okay, and that's also scripture, but we're not going to grab that. The brother can post it if he wants to. St. Matthew 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters. Okay, so you can't serve this world, which this world makes you have a covetous, greedy spirit, and you cannot serve the true and living God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob with all truth, sincerity, and humility. It will not work, and it cannot happen. Okay, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. So they hold on again to the philosophies, the customs of this world, and they deny boldly and bluntly the truth of the Bible, man. Because there's no way they can say that they have not heard it, they have not, which we know, the Lord, closed his ears and closed his eyes, but the truth has been so long without fruit, but is flourishing right now because the Lord has established and awoken and risen his true prophets, man. Okay, so nobody has an excuse no more. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. Okay, so you can't serve Yahweh Shai and mammon. Okay, and also, as I said prior last week on Saturday when I did a live stream before camp, Solomon got everything, the women, the money, the riches, all these things, because he asked for correct discernment, correct judgment to guide Israel and judge matters correctly and directly and balanced. Okay, that had to know good and evil, right and wrong. Basically he asked the Lord for true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. And with him doing that, the Lord was very pleased with his request. So the Lord gifted him riches. And the riches was not what made Solomon err and fall short. It was him acknowledging and cleaving on to the customs of these concubine women's gods, and building altars and stuff like that to them. So basically, Solomon, he erred by taking heed and hawking onto his concubines and committing that type of treason against Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. But let's continue, because again, it's nothing new under the sun, man. These are the same Negroes back in the Greek captivity, the Roman captivity, doing the same thing. Okay, this is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, and I'm going to read verses 11 and 12. In those days went out there of Israel wicked men. Okay, because these are wicked niggas, man. There's no way around it, man. If you gravitate, involve yourself in the customs, embrace the way of this world, you're wicked, you're evil. Period. There's no way around it, man. Okay? In those days went out there of Israel wicked men who persuade many, saying, okay, in the church, the white man, he's God. He's coming to save us. We must love our neighbor. We must embrace our master. We must do this. We must do that. Persuading the lost sheep, which in actual reality is the Lord doing it, but still, the truth is out here, and the prophets are making it be known. But again, that love of money, and not having that that income and that tax bracket and that status in society, it means something to these simple Negroes. They don't understand what's going to be given. Just a 1%, a smidget, a pinch, what's going to be given to us in the kingdom, man. Just a pinch, a 0.01% is going to be above and beyond and greater than what we can ever receive in this hellhole. Okay? In those days went out there of Israel wicked men who persuade many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. Let's make a covenant. Let's see what we can do, where we can have relaxation. We can be comfortable. Let's see what we can do to serve the heathen, to show forth our dedication, our alliance, our agreement. Let's show them that we want to see eye to eye. We want to get along, and amongst other things too. Okay? For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So since we have, tried to make it on our own and do our own thing, they've been kicking our ass. They've been doing this. They've been doing that. Okay? And with us trying to rebel and us trying to, stand firm for our God and this and that, it ain't working. So let's go with the heathen, because they have all the resources, the riches, the this, the that. Okay, sellouts, man. So this device pleased them well, man. Why? Because again, they got the privileges, that little piece of the pie that's been dropped on the floor, rolled around in dirt and hair, that they indulge in, man. Makes them think that they somebody. But what T.I. said was the truth, and it's exactly what these so-called deacons, pastors, reverends is doing. Let's grab what T.I. said, because that's scriptural. And everybody think they know the Bible when they really don't know the Bible, man. Okay? That's why a lot of y'all going to be judged too, because you profess that you read the script. And the only reason why a lot of you jakes in a certain type of stance you in, that you, if you do really know the Bible, is because of the prophets, man. Because you watching the prophets. Okay, you probably got a burner phone. Okay, one of them prepaid phones from Walmart or something, and that's how you watch your videos. Okay, because Esau got his hand up your rectum, and he watching everything you do. But this is St. Matthew 21 verses 12 to 13. And Yahushua went into the temple of the Most High, and cast out all of them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers. Okay, and that's not change. Because you still have events at these churches. Shit, you got events, dealing with these Hebrew Israelites, man. These so-called Hebrew Israelites, man, that say they're Jews and not. Okay? They Passover, they got a Dayton Connection love event. They got a fashion show. They got a show forth your talent, who can sing, who can rap. All type of gimmicks, man. Just taking heed to the high holy days and doing as instructed in the Bible is just boring for Jake. And the Lord is showing examples of why, and that's just talking about people that's claiming they're Israelites. So imagine what's going on with these 501c3 wacky tacky plantation Christians, what they doing in the midst of their congregation and they 501c3 church, man. Okay? And overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves, and said unto them, it is written, my house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And that's what the church, and again, some of these so-called Israelites, camps, congregations, whatever y'all want to call them, they nothing but a whole bunch of thieves, man. Okay? Make sure you pay your tithes. Just like the Christian church, man, the 501c slave plantation church, man. Go to the 501c3 church and start paying your tithes for 1 week. I bet you're going to be, hey, Brother Johnson, we noticed you ain't put that in the collection plate last week, and we just checked, you ain't putting that in here this week. What's going on, brother? You got to give up your 10%. Okay? And they, some camps that claim they're in the Israelite community, that claim they're in the truth, I've even heard, which I don't know if it's true, I've even heard that you gotta bring forth your W-2 on what you make yearly, so they can calculate how much is supposed to be given to the church, man. Okay, now that's just wicked, man. And again, it's not only the 501c3 church, okay, the Edomite supremacy church, but it's also these so-called Israelites that claim they're in the truth, man. A lot of these so-called Israelites that claim in the truth, they have a 501c3. Okay? But let's continue, because again, that's what? Teaching for hire. Okay, these are wolves in sheep's clothing, man. They really don't give a damn about the sheep. They're just concerned with their pockets. They're concerned on how much they can make each service. Okay, you go to some of their live streams, they got super chat. Okay, videos playing in so like a commercial videos playing on their videos before and after or in between. Okay, and in the midst of their videos coming on, they got their Cash Apps, PayPal, Vimo, all that stuff popping up. When the scriptures literally tell you sell the truth and sell it not. Roughly paraphrase. I know I'm probably butchering it, but y'all know what I mean. I think it's Isaiah 55. Okay, well, let's grab this. This is Micah chapter 3, verse 11. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. And these are really, they in these people's eyes, they're judges, they're priests, they're prophets, but in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, they're just wicked Israelites that are going to be judged, and those that hearken and take heed to their vomit will and shall be judged with them, man. Because again, they're not really concerned with feeding the sheep with the minerals, the nutritions, the vitamins that they need to progress and succeed and endure and prepare for what the Lord's going to bring forth, man. Okay, a lot of these cats don't even go into prophecy. Okay, continuing on. Divine for money. Okay, because again, that's my hands itching. You got clips. You had Creflo Dollar and I forgot the other dude's name. Walking on running on types of money in the harlot house. People just walking up, throwing money on the ground. Let me what they say? What the hell did they say? Let me anoint this money. Then walking, doing all this nonsense, man. It's a demon, man. It's a demon. Okay? Yet will they lean upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and say, is not Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai among us? None evil shall come upon us. And they believe that. They believe that they're truly, truly, truly doing the Lord's work. And I'm talking about the 501c3s right now, which are, especially these so-called black Christians, which are the most dishonest, deceitful people on the planet. Jake in general, man. Okay? Very, very dishonest, deceitful, and they truly believe that what they believe and they profess is correct. It's of the spirit. It's of the scriptures when it's not. Okay, because before and now that the Hebrew Israelites, the Lord's true prophets, have been speaking and declaring the truth for over 60 years now. Now was the time where these wacky-tacky slave plantation Christians actually picked up their Bibles and started to read, attempted to study. And like the beloved Elder Bishop Sakaran says, you can't read. Oh man, I love that Elder Bishop, man. He said, you can't read. Let's close out, man. The point is made, so let's grab this, man. Because again, it's the lust of the world, and one of the lusts of the world is money. What is Jake? These wicked Negroes, Latinos, Native and Sindel Indians. What do they always and these women? What are they always rapping about? Chasing the bag, getting the money. Okay, and which also the money that they give you is nothing but a legal debt. Okay, it was, which really holds no might. It was backed by the military, but it's not actual real currency. The real currency is silver, gold, and also resources, land, cattle. Okay, so let's close out. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, and I'm going to start off verse 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation. And this panel right here, I don't know who else is on here, but you see Kurt Franklin, which he's a demon. And you see T.I., which he's a demon too. Okay, even though sometimes, T.I. might bring out some valid points, but he's still in the world. Okay, these people have a certain type of status and tax bracket amongst our nation, which is really toilet paper to Esau and the elite, but it's more than what we have. Okay? But they that, 1 Timothy 6 verse 9, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, because you know that temptation is, I want more, I got to get more, and the snare is, well, you got to do more to get more, because you know once you submit to Esau, you don't just do one thing and you're in. You got to continue to do multiple things. Okay? And into many foolish and hurtful lusts. Okay? And why do you think a lot of these dudes, as you see, wear glasses? Because it also states in the scriptures that you can see the soul of a man in his eyes, man. They've done a lot of wicked, diabolical, treacherous, abominable things, man. And that's why a lot of them too do a lot of heavy drugs, man. You know, try to numb the pain and the thought of what they had to do to get to that point, and what they're going to continue to do to stay at that point. Okay, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Hey, man, we see examples of that constantly, man. Okay, verse 10. For the love of money, listen, for the love of money is the root of all evil, because you love it. So you'll do anything to achieve it. You'll do anything to keep it. You'll do anything to increase it because you love it. Okay, to have money is a defense. Okay, and it can also be resourceful in general. But your love should be for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, because he's the one that makes poor. He's the one that makes rich. Okay? Period. And that's roughly paraphrasing. All right? 2 precepts I can think of in Proverbs and Ecclesiasticus. Okay, continuing on. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which some have coveted. Okay, what can I do to gain more? What can I do to increase it? I'll do anything for it. Coveted after, they have erred from the faith. And none of these people, none of these 501c pastors were in the faith. None of these so-called Israelites that love money were in the faith. They're just set up to play their position that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has ordained them for, because those that are truly in the faith are not going to chase these fake FRNs. Okay? They're going to chase the real gold, the real currency, which is this truth, which is Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Okay? You're going to stack up your treasures in heaven. Roughly paraphrasing that precept. Okay? Have erred from the faith and perceive themselves to many sorrows. And again, that goes into what I said prior. You know, them, you know, having a heavy addiction with drugs, wearing these sunglasses, you know, hiding their eyes because they don't want to, you know, have people look into their eyes and see the wickedness in their soul. Because in this captivity, in this society, you gotta be about Esau's plan. You gotta do what he says. Okay, and if you don't, you're gonna be exposed, because he got stuff in his archives about you. Okay, you best believe it, man. He got a what they call it. He got a backup plan. He always got something on you, especially if you want to act up. You know, he probably got different levels, but you know, you want to act up, I'll spank you. If you're gonna keep on acting up, I'll destroy you. Okay, so, you know, I don't want to write this out, man. I hope and I pray that this was edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true, sincere Akim Wa Akwaf. So with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom.